So I'm here with Greg Nisbet of Mediazoic. Why don't you tell us a bit about what Mediazoic does?
Okay.
Before we get into the future of radio.
Yeah. Well, in the broadest sense, we're a music software company. We do what we call custom audio streaming solutions. So that could mean a radio station for someone like an Alan Cross. He has like the top 11 on our system, to very specific other uses for terrestrial broadcasters or just people who want to do internet radio.
Right. So we're here talking about the ongoing conversation of the future of radio and where it's going and what it needs to do. And radio as a concept obviously is much broader today than it used to be.
Also,
What would you say, how would you describe or define what radio is today?
well, I don't know if I want to get into these kind of broad definitions, but I think that the key point is that to the listener, anywhere you go that has content, curated content going, is really radio.
That's right.
Right? So, whether it's background music, noise at a restaurant, whether it's, turning on your car stereo, whether it's opening your browser, whatever, it's all really the same from the listener's point of view. It's just give me the content I want, give me the best content.
What do you think radio companies today need to do to remain relevant against all of the different options that are out there? You're an option, there's other options. What is it about radio, the traditional broadcaster, that you would like to see in terms of being proactive, in terms of change, or should they just keep doing what they're doing?
I think they have to embrace the internet as a delivery mechanism. Okay. Now, by that I don't mean go and listen to internet radio, songs or whatever. All that probably couldn't hurt as well. What I mean is that there's still, I believe, there's still very compelling content being created and delivered through what we would call traditional radio. Very compelling, and satellite for that matter, right? But as a means of delivery, as a kind of, on everywhere, all the time, rich feature set kind of experience, the internet, you can't get any better than that. And so even terrestrial broadcasters and satellite broadcasters are evolving towards that. So they're content companies, but I think you're going to see even them delivering more and more of their content over the internet.
What do you say about to those who say, well, my margin, if I just have them listen to the FM broadcast is this, my margin on internet is this?
Well, it certainly takes a creative approach to construct a winning business model on the internet. Believe me, I speak from rich experience, but that doesn't mean it can't be done. I'm sure you're probably aware of a guy like Mark Ramsey, for example, great radio consultant, in the States, who, I just think he hits it right so many times when it's focused on creating great content, but also think outside of the box in terms of the internet and how you're going to deliver that great content and supplement the great content.
So, in looking forward in the next couple of years, what are the things that radio has to prepare themselves for? What are the trends that you see being one of these forward-thinking, next-gen type models for radio? Where do you see the opportunity for radio, or the crisis point for radio?
Well, I can tell you where we're putting our money and our hedging, we're putting our bets is in brand radio. Deeper partnerships between brands and in a very broad sense broadcasters.
Right.
And I think any of these conferences that you go to and so on, anytime you sit in a boardroom and discuss this stuff, it's all about where that revenue is coming from, which is the brands,
right.
and and the agencies and so on. And so I think that's a big trend that you're going to see more and more.
Are the brands ready for that? Do they expect, or do they have the faith that radio can come up with these types of deeply integrated?
Definitely, and we have a few great examples just recently announced. I'm going to mention what some consider our competition here, but CBC last week just announced a groundbreaking partnership with TD Bank. that's, to me, that's a very evolved example of brand, what I would call brand radio.
So we'll be watching that very carefully.
I will be watching it very carefully, yes. And I think what that's going to do is, because it's such a big player, two such big players, that's going to alert a lot of brands like, wow, we can do this too? Where do I sign up?
Models.